You're welcome back to the conversation showing on your digital first Pan-African News Network, 2S Television. And it's that time where we'll bring you the crux of the program, the big story, talking about Nigeria, a nation under strike. In just a week, the nation has witnessed about 3 major sectors embark on indefinite strike actions to register their grievances against the Nigerian government. Now, as it is, the education sectors is down, courts are locked up with no hope of justice for the common man. Hospitals had been shut down by resident doctors who had threatened a fine of 5 million for non-compliance up until this morning, with news of them calling off the strike. In this, amid the threats by the academic staff in universities, Asup, the Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, the PENG, and other unions to also embark on a similar path. Now, this morning on Big Story, we take a look at the growing rate of industrial actions in Nigeria by aggrieved labor union, how it has affected the Nigerian economy, its people, and what needs to be done to remedy the issues that we face permanently. Joining us on this episode of the show is to shed more light on the big story is Comrade Ibrahim Badaru, and he is the chairman of the Academic Staff Union of Polytechnic from the Hussaini Adamu Federal Polytechnic in Jigawa State. Thank you so much for joining us on the conversation, Comrade Ibrahim.
Thank you very much.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Good. First of all, let's go straight into the issue. Can you intimate us with the details of your union's demand and what has triggered its decision to embark on an indefinite strike?
Yeah, you see, the Asup has been very, very considerate, considering the fact that so many things has been done for a very long time. Since March 2020, we have given the government ultimatum. It has elapsed. And we considered that there was this issue of pandemic of the COVID-19. We felt that we should not embark on a strike at that moment to wait for government to see what they can do to solve the problems. Some of the problems we have mentioned include the need assessment report, which was done in 2014. Up till now, that government that went to the schools understood our problems and could not get a kobo to solve this problem. So the problems of dilapidation of the structures, dilapidation of the whole subsector, and other unions who made similar comments, similar reports, we are giving money twice. But ASUP considered that let's give time to this government to consider this demand. Other issues that we are pursuing include the areas of the 10-month minimum wage, and the issue of the promotion areas, and the issue of the violation of the Polytechnic Act, which even this week, the same government that signed this act into law decided to violate the same law by appointing 6 rectors to the new polytechnics, which 5 of these rectors are not qualified by that act. So one will wonder what type of people are running this Ministry of Education, considering that this act was signed by the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And the same people working for the same government are violators of that act. So ASUP is baffled to the point that it has no other thing to do than to embark on strike. Had it been that it's any language this government will understand, ASUP would have spoken that language. But having this being the only language, then ASUP has no option than to embark on strike. Despite the fact that we sympathize with the students and the parents.
Okay, talking about sympathizing with the students and parents, we do know that with all of this incessant strike action, the back and forth, the students, are at the receiving end. They're the ones that have to cope with having to stay in school longer than expected. What justification now would your union, or does your union have for having to keep them at home and keep them longer in school? What justification?
Yes. The students are at the receiving end because the government that is supposed to give these people the right, to do the right thing, refuse to do it. So the students have to be at the receiving end because we are trying to solve the problem once and for all. If there are so many things that are lacking in the sector, we found out that we will be graduating half-baked students because some of these things that are going to be used to give them the right education is not there. The funding is not there. The facilities are not there, the training and what have you are not there. So we have to go on the strike because we have to solve the problem once and for all. Because we don't have to come back now. You know, if you look at Asup strike, we have been very, very careful in going to strike. So many other unions have gone to strike so many times, but Asup did not. Because we felt that the students in polytechnics are the children of masses, people who could not afford to take their children outside the country. We felt the feelings, we're parents too. So we felt that these children should exercise some patience and let's see what we can get to improve the situation of the polytechnics. So it's not a selfish issue of the of arrears only of the minimum wage. No, the focus is on the development of the sector. Is the most important thing we are trying to put to place. Because if we don't go by the rules, if we don't do that, now look, there is this quick response committee that was in place in 2017 to resolve the issues in polytechnics. That committee did not sit for a very long time. This committee would have solved all the problems that have been puzzling the issue, the sector. So it's just awesome. It's just amazing to have government that sign a law into being and still violate that same law.
Okay. Okay, but in as much as I do understand and appreciate your consideration, saying, look, in other unions have gone on strike incessantly, but Asup has been very considerate considering the students are putting that in place. But we do know, we have seen, like you said, continuous strike action by other unions, even academic, unions, universities, and all of that stuff. It keeps happening, but it hasn't solved anything.
It has
They
not.
go on strike, and come back, we still say the same issues back to back, year in, year out, but nothing has happened. So why do you still employ, why does the union still employ strike action?
At what point will all of this be
knowing
put
the
on?
effect it actually has.
Simple reason. The simple reason is that the government understands no language. Because if dialogue would have been an option, if pursuing things by laws is an option, if talking to people who are sensitive to the issue is an option, Asup wouldn't have gone on strike. But because strike is the only language these people listen to, they can only understand strike. Because others that were on strike, we are listening to. But Asup that refused to go on strike, despite the decay in the sector, was not even attended to. So it was left with no option than to go on the strike. And you could even imagine the Asup strike gave 3 weeks grace because the declaration was done in Katsina in March, I think 19th, and the strike was to commence on the 6th. 3 weeks grace. That would have given a serious government enough time to call for dialogue, which they did not. Until when the strike is on, then the minister called them. And even that meeting, you must have heard, that is only to introduce the issue again after the whole year. So you see, you will be surprised that is this the government that signed this act into law? Is this the government that says it is serious on education and the education of technical knowledge, where serious countries are taking very, very important, because with this education of ours, it will go a long way in alleviating the socio-economic problems of Nigeria. Other countries developed our sector better than the other conventional, the other sectors, because if youths are trained technically, you find out that they employ others. They don't wait for employment to come their way.
Yes.
So in that regard, polytechnic education should have been given priorities. So that youth should go into trades that will sustain them and their families. But to be candid, the neglect of the sector by the Ministry of Education, by the government, is just disturbing, that the union has no option than to talk to them, and at the last point now embark on a strike.
All right, comrade, it is as though the government has, grown a thick
Thick
skin, towards all of this. What is now, what is the expectation of those who are at the receiving end? What do we see? What is the hope for the children, the students who are, in the polytechnics? If the demands are not being met, in a considerable amount of time.
Yeah. Yes, you may be baffled to know that some of the students are in NG1 for the past 2 years.
And that's terrible.
very, very serious. Very, very serious. A diploma program of 2 years is now extended to 3 to 4 years. Just because we want to do it, and the government, who should be more serious about doing that, is not willing. So the future is very dull. The future depends now solely on the government to come in and do the needful. So the government is most expected to act well, and we now want urge all stakeholders, the parents, the students, journalists, and whoever is responsible or is having the chance to speak to these people, to please let them do what is expected of them.
Okay.
Let them respect the rule of law. So most of these agitations are not financial. So why delaying just inauguration, governing council? Why delaying implementation of simple things that can be done within just a simple sentence command?
Okay. We know that the president isn't in the country at this time. It's evident that the president is not in the country at this time, and so demands might not, be met as soon as the union actually wants it. So is there some sort of quick resolution, a quick fix to this, pending when the president comes back into the country, and then the union can resume full negotiation and all of that stuff?
The president's presence might not halt the negotiations, because government is a system. It's not even to see with the union. We have ministries, we have agencies, we have offices that are responsible for these dialogues that will be communicated to the president. So the Minister of Education, Adamu, has done the first step. So it's now next for the Ministry of Education and Labor to come in, sit down with the union, to come in directly and touch these demands and report back to the president. The president is the president wherever he is. So whether it's in Nigeria or not, he can attend to all these things. So it depends on the people manning the sector now. Are they willing? That's the question. Are they willing? Because to our dismay, it's like, since I don't have my child there, so let them go to hell. Most of the students in polytechnics are children of the masses, as I said. They don't belong to any special person's home. So that would have been the reason why the neglect is too much. Yes, so the president can be contacted anytime. He can be briefed, I'm sure. So it's left for the people manning the sector. Are they willing to do it, or are they not willing to do it? That depends largely on them. So we appreciate the parents, the guardians, we appreciate the students for their support, because they understood our agitations are for good, and they are in our support. You have never seen a father or a child going against the union. They are only appealing to the government to do the needful, which we are all doing. So things can be, the strike can be called off as soon as possible, but it depends on who? On the government.
Okay.
So
if the demands are not met as soon as possible, is there any going back on the strike action?
No going back on the strike.
All right,
the strike is meant to achieve a purpose, and the purpose is the betterment of the sector. So if the strike action is the only option left for us, then if we start and they now call off without getting the desired result, it means we have lost focus. So as the president highlighted of the union, that these things should be done as they should. What is the difficulty in following due process in appointing rectors? What is the difficulty in that? There are so many qualified people that should be given that post. Why are you violating an act that the president signed? The sitting president, the present president signed that act, and you are serving the same government, and you are violating the same act. So I think the president should even question the integrity of those people. Yes, so the union will remain resolute, will remain firm to make sure that the polytechnic sector is revitalized and is getting the right thing they should get from the Ministry of Education and all other quarters. And now look at the other demand we are having, the MBT issue. We need a commission. That commission should regulate the sector. We are too numerous to be managed by MBTE. It's a board. The power empowering the board to man this number of polytechnics in Nigeria is just too much. So the commission would have been the appropriate body to man the sector. You can imagine smaller sectors are being managed by commission. Smaller sectors. But the sector of polytechnic, with hundreds of polytechnics in the sector, is managed by a board. Okay. So you lack efficiency, you lack enough manpower, you lack the desired legal backing, and so many other things.
Yeah. So sorry, we do not have so much time, but yes, your union is in strike. We have other unions on strike as well. You know, we just heard news this morning that the resident doctors, you know, are calling off their strike and everything. They're not just the only ones. We have the judiciary workers on strike. What is your opinion on all of this? How does this affect Nigeria as a country?
Yes. This is portraying the image Nigeria is. Because all other unions now agreed that the only thing to do if you won't get what you want is to go on strike. Had it been there are other options, all these unions wouldn't have gone on strike. So I call on the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, to sit down and ask questions. Why are these strikes increasing instead of decreasing? What is wrong? Who is wrong? And let him question the person that are the people that are in charge of these things. So you see, the issue of everybody going on strike is telling you that the decay has gone so much, and has gone so far, that it needs to be curtailed. And who is to do that? The president should monitor, should supervise very well, ask questions, come down to the grassroots and know the real picture of the whole thing and act to immediately to stop these things, because the strike actions are increasing. So many will even come up. Why? Because nobody is getting what he wants or what is deserved of him.
Okay, but how?
So I call on the people and the helm of the affairs to do the needful.
Okay, but the big question here is, before we let you go, in your opinion, how did it get this bad? How did it get this bad in Nigeria, where we have so many? I don't think we've had a time where like 5 unions are going on strike at the same time. How did it get this bad?
It has gone bad because small things are not taken care of at this beginning. If you have an issue that started so small, try to nip it, try to stop it at the initial stage. If you allow it to grow, it will grow bigger, and it could grow out of hand. So this issue of decay, corruption must have been a factor. Lack of sensitivity is a factor. Lack of fear of God is a factor. Lack of proper supervision and monitoring is a factor. So many things are factors that compound the whole problem. So, and the violation of rules and orders is another factor. So all these things must be addressed to make sure that all are doing the right thing. In essence, the government should go by what is documented as our laws, our acts. They should be adhered to. And any person that will go wrong should be punished accordingly. And any sector should be monitored by people who are patriotic, people who are stakeholders, people that are responsible, people that are not self-centered. So all these things compound the whole issue. From small problem, now you allow it to grow big, then it's go out of hand. So the issue is for governments to always be checking on time. To now, look at it. We were on strike in 2017, and we called off the strike with the constitution of that quick response committee. It's chaired by the PAMSEC of the Ministry of Education. It has not met for years. So you see, all those minor issues in the polytechnic sector would have been solved before becoming monsters. Yes, the problem is allowing things to go wrong and keep watching them going wrong without stopping them.
All right. Thank you so much, Comrade Ibrahim, for joining us on the show this morning. It was such a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm grateful.
Thank you very much. And thank you guys for joining us on the conversation this morning. It was such a pleasure, to be here to bring you the show this day, you know, this Monday morning. How did you feel about this?
Yeah, I think it was quite insightful. You know, we got most of the demands, you know, of the, you know, Union of Youth Polytechnics and everything. So, yeah, I think I've gotten more enlightened.
Yeah, I think I have as well.
Yeah.
All right, don't forget you can be a part of the conversation by following us across all social media platforms, TOS TV Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and also subscribe to TOS TV Network on YouTube so you do not miss out on the amazing lineup of programs that we have there for you. Also look up our website at www.tostvnetwork.com. My name is Adesua Osuyi.
And I am Merciful Ajinamo. Thank you so much for watching. Do have a wonderful week.